Hello. In this video, I want to talk about censorship and the dangers of censorship, cancel culture, and being offended, and what's actually happening here when we are offended. My name is Vanessa. I'm a healer, lightworker, and I'm here to help you. Censorship of any kind is very dangerous, and I can see now that we are slowly moving in a direction where people are beginning to, or are already afraid to say and speak and express themselves in the way they feel. And the extreme side of this is what you see in places like North Korea, where not only can they not speak and express themselves in the way that they want to freely, but they cannot even watch things that are not allowed. American movies and TV, they won't be watching this video. And this is an absolute abomination of our freedom. And what people don't understand is that you cannot select certain things for people to not be allowed to have access to censorship-wise, and think that other things will not be able to be put in that category. So you might agree with some things that are being censored, but what about when you don't? So there is a real danger here, and a real danger to cancel culture and for us wanting to just shut up what people are saying that we don't agree with. Because what is really happening here is when we are offended, it is internally what our response and reaction is to what that person is saying that is the problem. And therefore it is our problem. I'm going to give you a personal example. The other day, a man was speaking to me about problems he was having with a woman. And he was telling me about how he was speaking to another woman, and she had said, "Well, is she on her period?" And I felt that rise of emotion, offense. And because I trained myself to be aware of my emotions and to question them and not take them as truth, I realized what was happening. And my response was, wow, I have some issues with stereotypes towards women. I need to work on that. And my shift was completely on myself, because I knew and I was aware, I have the knowledge that that issue was my personal issue. Because if I was more comfortable with myself when it came to being a woman and stereotypes against me, then I would not have been offended by this. And it was my responsibility. It wasn't my right or responsibility to go and find this person, which I know, she's very close to me, and I could have challenged her and said, you know, why did you say this? Or that's none of my business. She is allowed to think and feel and express herself in the ways that she sees fit, and that are ways that are true to herself. And it is my responsibility to figure out why it is that that offended me and to work on myself internally. My responsibility. So what is happening when we are offended is we are wanting to control externally what other people are saying, thinking, and doing because it upsets us. But think about that. We cannot control other people. We cannot control what others think and feel and say, although now there is a huge effort to do so. But that is not right. People should be able to express and think and feel the way that they do, and it is our responsibility to internally work on whatever it is inside of us that is causing us to be offended by whatever is externally happening. We become powerless when we think and view life that we are completely dependent on the external world. So as long as people are around me are saying things that don't upset me and that I agree with, then I'm feeling great. But as soon as the people around me are disagreeing with me or saying things that I don't like, now I'm all upset. No. Education is when you have the ability to listen to almost anything that someone has to say, someone else's perspective, and to not have your self-confidence change, not have your emotions change. When I study spirituality, I often listen to people who I feel a rise of offensiveness to, because I understand that one, wow, there's something I can learn about myself here and some work that I can internally do. There is a message for me here about myself. But also, I find that as I listen and continue and let go of the offense that I am feeling, or the negative feelings that I'm having about what this person is saying, I also can find much truth in what they are saying. While there are still things that I don't necessarily agree with, I'm not offended by it because I understand that that's their right to think and feel that way. It is my right, just the same, to think and feel the way that I do. And while it is in good nature to not try to offend people and not to say things intentionally to offend people or to get a rise out of people or to exert your own power against people, it is also not our right to cancel other people for their opinions because we feel upset about it. It is our responsibility to manage our own emotions. That is emotional intelligence, being able to handle your emotions regardless of what's happening externally. Oftentimes in my place of employment, I will have people who are very emotional. And I have learned the ability to have my emotions stay stable, unchanged. It is almost as if I have a bubble around me. While I am watching what is happening, this person, I can see what is happening inside of them, the turmoil, but yet it is not piercing me. I am not receiving it. I am still standing strong and grounded in my own emotions. This is emotional intelligence. And unfortunately, we are not taught this. So I am in no means really blaming anyone at all. Because in school, we are never taught about our emotions, what they are, how to deal with them, about how important it is for us to recharge and relax. It is a hustle culture that has been pushed upon us, and that our worth is only based on what we achieve and what we gain materially and the titles that we achieve. So I understand. But we need to make steps away from this because this is detrimental to us all. For one, censorship is the road to dictatorship. For it is leading down the road where you can be arrested and imprisoned for the way that you think and feel. Think about back in the days where Jesus was killed for his words, for the way his views, for him trying to give you your power back and preach love to you. He was killed. And while we are far from that point now, we are turned towards that direction. And you should be worried about that. And I know in no means would like to place fear upon you, but instead awareness. Awareness that we ourselves need to take responsibility for how we feel. And we cannot and should not be able to control others and what they say. So I encourage you to, the next time you are offended, to really examine the situation and to understand that you internally have something that you need to work on. Just like the story I just told you, the example of how it's clear to me now I'm going to spend some time in meditation on some issues that I have with views that people or society have towards women. That's my responsibility. That's my job. And I will do that. I will take responsibility for that for myself. So I love you. I wish you luck on your journey. I wish you luck on your road to emotional intelligence and to have awareness for your own responsibility and to take your power back. To take your power back by not being a prisoner to whatever happens to you externally. We have the ability to take control of our own emotions, what's happening internally with us, despite what is happening externally. And that is true power and true freedom. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and the bell. I will connect with you soon. Thank you.